Hi, I'm Todd Hand, Managing Partner of Knowledge Leaders. I recently had the pleasure of speaking with Ted Brodheim, President of Altamira Advisors, about how the education companies he consults for are integrating artificial intelligence into their products and services, and also how they see the future of AI and EdTech evolving over the next few years. This discussion is the latest in a series of conversations I'm having with EdTech leaders on AI and education. If you have questions, please email me and I will integrate as many as possible into my conversations. Now, here is my discussion with Ted.
Zoom has been using AI in its products since almost the beginning of since the company started. They have really added a lot of dedicated AI products in the last couple of months, and more of them are coming out as time goes on, really aimed at how businesses run and how to make businesses more effective and more efficient. So, one of the products that's gained a lot of traction, particularly one that we're seeing being adopted by a lot of universities for their internal administration, is a note-taking app. So if we had this turned on, Todd, it would take notes, it would give details about the conversation we're having, it would list at the end the follow-up items and uses them. And all of these tools, which were originally developed for corporations, are rapidly being adopted by larger schools and universities just to make their operations more effective and more efficient. So when it comes to AI capability, Zoom customers are asking for two things. The first is that they want absolute control over how their data is being used, and they want absolute control over who has ownership of the data. And that's something Zoom has completely accommodated to make sure that the IP that's embedded in all that remains with the customer and does not become available to the general AI marketplace. And it's also not being used by Zoom to train their AI engines. Customer data always remains customer data. So that's something that's made our customers feel very comfortable in using Zoom going forward. The second thing they're asking for are federated models that they can use. So again, companies can pick and choose which data repositories they're going to use to fuel the AI engines that are providing answers to those companies. Once you've got that basic infrastructure in place, which allows institutions to be comfortable with the use of the tools, they're looking to do a lot of data analysis to be able to ask better and deeper questions of the data they have. As I mentioned earlier, they're looking for tools that can help streamline operations and make things much smoother. Good example of that would be customer service. You've got a generation of people who are entering higher education, entering the workforce, who are very much committed to text and chat as the way they want to communicate with companies, the way they want to communicate with universities, the way they want to communicate with vendors. And the AI is terrific at being able to parse the questions that may come in via text message, figure out what the person is actually looking for, doing the query and texting the information back. This ability to meet this next generation in the ways they want to communicate and the way they want to operate with the institution is going to be a critical way in which AI is adopted at an individual level, and then much, much deeper in the kinds of data analysis that can be done going forward. Well, they should be very careful about it, is the first. There is phenomenal opportunity for the use of AI in products. But you have to be careful. AI is a very powerful tool. It can give misleading answers if not used properly. And we need to make sure that some of the ethical issues around the data and what it can learn about people is carefully understood and carefully taken care of. I think secondly, we're in a phase right now where everyone is saying their tools are AI powered, whether they are or not, because it's sort of the thing out there. But when AI is implemented properly, you shouldn't even know that it's there. It should be doing things in the background to smooth the processes going forward. That being said, we have been talking about personalization and customization for a decade now, and it's actually been proven very, very hard to do. And I think this is one area where well-implemented AI can really make a difference and really bring that level of personalization and customization together in the way as educators we've always envisioned this would be able to happen. And I think we will see that beginning to hit the marketplace in the next year or so. There are almost too many to count, but let me just hit on a couple. The ability for collaboration gets increased dramatically with the use of some of these tools. A lot of barriers begin to break down very quickly. One of the biggest barriers people have is, of course, language. And the AI has gotten incredibly good at translation. And it's translation that understands nuance. It would not translate a phrase, he was a father, but he wasn't a dad, into he was a father, but he wasn't a father. It understands the juxtaposition of those words. And that's important when you start getting into academic topics and detailed level. But opening up that ability to cross borders, opening up that ability to incorporate students for whom they're learning perhaps not in their native language, but being able to hear it and see it, hear it in the language of the country where they're located, but see it in their natural language on a screen in front of them, begins to really open up opportunities for students that are trying to engage in new locations. It's really just incredibly powerful going forward. So I think we'll see a lot of uses like that in the near future. Going forward, the ability of it to understand and tailor things to learning styles, as we touched on a little bit before, but also the ability to guide students through a learning process and through a learning journey along the way, and allow them to really dig into their interests in a way that's guided, in a way that's protected, is going to become very, very useful. And again, 2 or 3 years from now, I think will be incredibly